Hello and welcome. My name is Brian, and I will be your expert for this guide to residential electrical. I'm a 28-year-old construction superintendent and electrician from Ball Ground. I have over 15 years residential electrical experience given to me by my family business, Lots Electric from Woodstock, where I continue my practice and maintain my training. Tonight, you will be reviewing the components of your electrical system, common sense safety tips, and 5 repairs that you can do safely. There's a lot to discover, so let's get started. Understanding the components of your residential electrical system will make you a better prepared homeowner or tenant. The National Electrical Code, NEC for short, dictates the requirements of your electrical system. Let's talk about power. Power will be sent from one last transformer through a service line or feeder, top wire in this example, down and into the meter. This service line or feeder can either be overhead or underground. Under any circumstances, do not tamper or mess with these items. If you see anything wrong or strange, please call your local power company to get it repaired immediately. But let's go inside. From your meter, power travels down to your electrical panel, where it is distributed along branch circuits known as home runs to your end devices, such as appliances, light fixtures, cell phone chargers. Speaking of devices, I brought a few I'd like to show you. This first one is a single pole switch used for switching a light at one location. This next one is a three-way switch used for switching lights at multiple locations, such as hallways, large common rooms. This third one is a duplex receptacle, also known as an outlet. NEC requires that residents must use a tamper-resistant or TR-style outlet. This prevents children or someone from sticking something in the outlet and getting seriously hurt. This fourth device is a ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI for short. It detects for water or shorts within the wiring or later down the circuit and shuts off instantly. The NEC requires this device must be used within 6 feet of a sink, wet location, or outdoors. Another variation of this is an arc fault circuit interrupter, AFCI for short. It checks for arcs and sparks. It's used to protect lights and outlets in family rooms, bedrooms, storage rooms, common areas. The last 2 devices I have are breakers. They can be GFCI, standard, AFCI, or a combination. Ultimately, the breaker will prevent a circuit from shorting out or overloading by instantly shutting off or tripping. The number on the breaker is the maximum amps allowed to go through the device before it trips. It can either be a single pole or a double pole. Lastly, this is the electrical panel, the central point of all your power within your home. All your power will either be 120 or 240 volts based on the needs of the appliance. Now that you know about your system, let's protect it. I get asked a lot, Brian, aren't you afraid of getting shocked? And the answer is absolutely. Even experienced electricians will have some fear over electrical. It's how we show respect to it. Electricity doesn't care who you are, how many friends you have, or your social status on Facebook. It will seriously hurt or kill you. At the construction company I work for, Choke Construction, we pride ourselves in a safety culture called One Life. It's your life, it's your legacy, let's protect it. The best way to protect your home is to get to know your home. So here's 8 easy ways you can do that. Number 1, go through and test your GFCIs. To do this, you're going to press the test button until it clicks, wait about 3 seconds, and then press the reset button until it clicks. If it fails to do any of these, the device must be replaced. Remember, a GFCI is a life-saving device. If it's not tripping, it's not protecting. 2, go through and check to see what all your light switches do. 3, check for damaged cords. If the ground pin is missing, or if the cord itself is damaged, it must be repaired. Please remove the cord or appliance from service. Let's hang on to this and I'll show you how to put a new plug on it in just a minute. 4, go through and change all your light bulbs to LEDs. It might cost you a little bit now, but it's going to save you hundreds on your electricity bill later. 5, go through and check all your switches and outlets to see if they are damaged or loose. If it can wobble baby wobble, it will need to be tightened up and repaired. We'll get to that in just a moment, but for now, let's head down to the panel. Number 6, get to know your panel. Make sure there's no open gaps in your panel. If there is, get yourself up a blank panel space from Home Depot It merely snaps in and protects from anyone sticking their hand and getting seriously hurt inside the panel. Also, make sure your panel is properly labeled. A properly labeled panel will be a guide to working on it in the future. With a partner, turn on all the lights and small appliances in your home and turn off only one circuit at a time. If you turn off more than one circuit at a time, you will get confused. Once you turn off that circuit, identify what's on it, write it down, then move on to the next circuit. Number 7, what to do with a tripping breaker. A breaker only trips for 2 reasons. It's either overloaded or it's shorting out. Let's start with the first theory. To check to see if a breaker is overloaded, use the back of your first 2 fingers and press it against the tripping breaker. If it is warm, remove some appliances and relocate them to different circuits. Let the breaker cool, turn it back on. If the breaker continues to instantly trip, you have a short. Turn off all the lights and unplug all the appliances. Try the breaker. If it continues to trip, you have a short in the wiring of your home. Please call a licensed electrical contracting company. If the breaker holds, turn on all your lights. If the lights hold, then start by going one at a time with your appliances until the faulty appliance is identified. Remove that appliance from service. Number 8, I highly recommend an electrical testing kit to keep at the house. This is a non-contact voltage detector. This will let you know if power is present at a device. To test, remove the plate around the device and then check around the sides of the device. If power is present, it will blink red and it will chirp. No power, it'll stay green and continue to be quiet. The next item is a receptacle tester. This will let you know if power is present, as well as if the outlet is properly installed. A properly installed outlet will have 2 yellow lights. If only one yellow light or a red light is present, your outlet is installed incorrectly. Turn off the circuit, remove, and reinstall the outlet. If the problem persists, call a licensed electrical contractor to repair the circuit. I want to give you one last bonus safety tip now that we're coming into fall. Electric space heaters. Between 2011 and 2015, the National Fire Prevention Association determined that 85% of home heating fire deaths were a result from space heaters. Before you use your space heater, make sure the cord is all right, there is no damage to the unit. Keep a clear space around it at all times so it can breathe through the air. Keep children and pets away from it, and remove any combustibles such as chemicals, cardboard, clothing, dry timber. Be safe. Be smart. Protect yourself and your loved ones. Before we start, let's get the proper tools and equipment. I bought all this at the Home Depot on Ponce de Leon for less than $55. This is a basic starter pack to get you to do electrical. We have an electrical testing kit, wire strippers, flashlight, 6-in-1 screwdriver, black tape, tan wire connectors, a switch with a plate, an outlet with a plate, and a plug. Now that we have what we need, let's get to work. Let's start off by fixing that cord that we mentioned earlier that was damaged. To repair a cord, you'll have to cut all the way back to where the damage is no longer present. From there, go back about 1 inch and just gently cut around the edges of the wire. Once you've cut through just the outer jacket only, give it a little bit of a twist and pull. This might take a couple of tries, and a couple of times you'll have to redo. Once you've got the jacket removed, separate your wires and strip about 1/2 inch. And then go through and make a nice, clean twist. Next, let's grab our plug. The plug is color-coded. The black will go to the brass, white will go to the silver, and the green will go to green. So loosen up all your screws, and then give your wires a twist to make a hook. And you'll hook them around each screw and tighten it up with your screwdriver. We'll come right back once I've screwed all this in. Now that I've got everything screwed in, a handy tip to know is you want to hook the wire in the same direction as the rotation of the screw. This will give a better grip from the screw to the wire to the plate. From here, you will close the cover. Get it nice and flat. You'll avoid the screw hole. Close the top half and screw it down. And there you have it. You're good to go. Let's move on to our second repair. You remember that switch from earlier? It's got a broken plate. It's all wobbly. This switch will need to be replaced or repaired. So start off by making sure the circuit is turned off at the panel. Once the circuit is turned off, go ahead and remove the plate. Once the plate is removed, take out your non-contact voltage detector and check for power down the sides. We're all clear. Let's move on. Next, we're going to take the device out of the wall. Once the device is removed, you'll find you'll have 3 wires, a ground, a hot, and another hot. One of these will be going to the light, the other one is your power coming in. Start off by removing your ground. Next, we're going to remove our 2 other wires. If they're wrapped around the screw, just unscrew it and pull it out just like we did the ground. If they're stabbed into the device, you can either cut them or strip them back 3/8 of an inch, or just twist the device continuously, and you'll see one of them has already popped out. And if that doesn't work, cut it and restrip it 3/8 of an inch. Now that we're re-prepped, let's install the new switch. Here we have a brand new toggle switch. These are directional. One side will say top on the switch. Start by stabbing in the 2 wires on the back of the switch. Since these are 14-2, these can do that. On a 12-2 wire, they will have to be wrapped around the screw. You'll just wrap it around and tighten the screw down. Now, it doesn't matter which way these are installed. Since this is just a simple on-off switch, each of these 2 wires can go to each of these 2 screws. The ground will always go to the green screw. Now that our ground is installed and the switch is in order, line up your switch to where it will say top, and then push the switch into position. From here, let's screw it in. Tighten up the switch to where it is stable and no longer moves. If the switch still wobbles, press in your 2 fins, as we call dog earring. These will help push the switch back further into the wall and tighten it up. Now that it's nice and tight, let's put our plate on. Now that the plate is on, turn on the breaker and test the switch. Now that the circuit is turned back on, let's try the switch. Great job! Let's move on to our next repair. Let's move on to our third repair. I'm going to teach you how to replace an outlet. Look at this one here. It's been marked all up, and we can't tell if this thing is in proper working order. So let's change it out. Start off by turning the circuit off at the panel. We've already done that prior to this. But let's make sure just to be safe by using our receptacle tester. No lights. No power is present. We're good to work. Next, let's remove the plate and the outlet. This outlet only has 3 wires in it: the ground, the neutral, and the hot. So, this tells me this is a dead end switch. Because the wires are stabbed into the outlet, let's cut them out. For the ground, you just stick it through the hole and put a new hook on it. That will go to the green screw on the outlet. Tighten it down. While we're at it, let's go ahead and tighten the other ones down since we don't need them. Now we're going to cut about 3/8 of an inch off of the wires. We'll strip 3/8 of an inch. Again, black will go to brass. And the white will go to the silver. Now we've got it wired up, we're going to tuck our wires and screw it into the box. Once the device is tight, you can put the plate on. If you can't get the device to tighten up, you can do what's called dog earing. Take these upper fins and push them back. This will allow you to press against the box on the inside and give you a stronger grip. And then double check. Now let's put the plate on. Let's turn the circuit on and try it out. Now the circuit's turned on, let's try it with our receptacle tester. 2 yellow lights. Great job. Let's move on to our next repair. The fourth thing we're going to do is we're going to change the light fixture. The light fixture above me is original to the 80s, is dilapidated and damaged, and will need replaced. So let's put in a brand new LED. Start off by turning off the switch and turning the circuit off to the light. The next thing we're going to do is remove the glass and the bulb, as while we're removing this fixture, these could fall and potentially injure somebody. The next thing we'll do is we're going to test, just in case, to make sure there's no power present. We're clear. To remove the light, you'll either have 2 screws inside the light, or you'll have caps, like this one. Remove the caps or the screws. As the light comes down, untwist the wire nuts, and then throw the light and the wire nuts away. We'll put new ones on. The next thing we're going to do is remove the old bracket. Now let's check out that new light. The next step we're going to do is get everything out of the box, unwrap it, and identify everything. Once everything is laid out, find the bracket and prep it per the instruction manual. Once the bracket is prepped, you will install it into the box by mounting the screws through the elongated holes. Let's go ahead and get that up there. As you tighten the bracket, make sure the bracket is centered over the box and cannot wiggle or wobble. Now, let's go ahead and hook up the light. Most light fixtures will come pre-stripped and color-coded. Black to black, white to white. The green will wrap around the screw on the bracket and tighten to the bracket. Start with your ground wire first, so it has something for the light fixture to hold on to. Then finish the wiring. Once your wires are done, you're going to fold them, tuck them into the box, and then clip the light fixture through the holes onto the screws that are protruding out. And let's put the cover on. Once the cover is in place, turn on the circuit and test the light. Now let's turn it on. Great job! Let's move on to the next one. For the final repair, we're going to learn how to balance a fan. The fan above me has a little bit of a wobble, so let's fix that. We're going to start off by turning off the fan and letting it come to a rest. Once the fan has come to a rest, we're going to move the globe. That way we can get to the screws on the blades. Now that the fan has come to a slight rest, we're going to remove the globe. Once the globe is removed, take a Phillips head screwdriver and tighten up the blades on the fan. Once the blades are retightened, reinstall the globe. Now that the globe is reinstalled, we're going to get ourselves a blade balancing kit. You can pick this up for $2.26 at Home Depot. Inside the kit, you will find 2 weights and a clip. We're going to start off by using the clip. So we are going to take a fan blade and put the clip near the outside of the blade and then turn the fan on. That didn't work, so let's try another blade. Now let's turn the fan back on. Much better. This blade seems to be the one to do the trick. So let's turn the fan back off, and we're going to let it come back to a rest. Once we come back to the blade, let's go ahead and wipe it down with a damp cloth. While you're at it, go ahead and wipe down the rest of your blades. Dust accumulation will hinder the performance of your ceiling fan, so this is just some preventative maintenance. Once the blade is wiped down, you may remove the clip, grab a weight, peel the sticker off the back, and stick it on to the end of the blade. From there, you can turn the fan back on. If there's still a little bit more of a wobble, simply find another blade using the clip and install the second weight. For us, this did the trick. Great work! Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this guide and that you feel more comfortable with your electrical system. I want to give thanks to the Atlanta Beltline Partnership for hosting this event, Toolbank Atlanta for the recommendation, and Lots Electric and Cho Construction for their support and community involvement in safety. If you have any questions, please stick around, and I look forward to helping you fix that in just a moment.